Now, what is SUMIF? SUMIF Excel function calculates the sum of a range of cells based on given criteria. Okay, so we do sum, right? Now, SUMIF is an extension, or it is a combination of sum and the if condition. The criteria can include dates, numbers, and text. For example, the formula SUMIF of B1 to B15 less than or equal to 12 adds the value in the cell range B1 to B5 which are less than or equal to 12. The formula accepts the following arguments. Okay, range, criteria, sum range. Okay, so range is nothing but it refers to the range of cells on which the criteria is applied. Range of cells means a collection of cells. Okay, a consecutive collection of cells. Okay, criteria, it refers to the conditions that are applied to the range of cells. It determines the cells to be added from the given sum range. Okay, so which cells to be added, that is the criteria. And sum range means now once you have a criteria, now which column or which range of cells should you add. Okay, range and criteria are the required parameters where the sum range is optional. Okay, note that if the sum range is not specified, the SUMIF function refers to the parameter range as the range of cells to be added, right? So that means if sum of range is not specified, then what it will do is it will take the range as the sum of cells to be added. Whichever cells you specified in the range range column, right? Let's see how does this work. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so here what do we have? Okay, so first let's see what is a sum function. Okay, you know what is a if. Now sum function is nothing but when you want to do an addition. Okay, right now if I want to do an addition of everything here, so what I do, I write is equal to sum and we select this range. Okay, now sometimes this closing bracket is okay if you miss because Excel will automatically put it for you. Okay, so what I see is the total sum is 3,80,000. Now I want to get only the sum of price which is spent on TV. So you see in equipments we have air conditioner, fridge and TV. Okay, this is what is repeating always. And for few of most of them we have the brands, and for few of them we don't have the brand. So what do? I write, now it is for TV, right? So I write is equal to sum if. Okay, first you see it's asking for range, which means where do I have my condition? So my condition is here, right? Because I have to search for TV and TV is present in this range, which I selected just now. Okay, next the criteria. Now the criteria is it should contain TV. Okay, and then the sum range. Now whichever row it gets TV, it should take the corresponding price and do the addition. Now it is 198. Let's see if this is correct or not. Okay, I go here, I just select TV. Okay, so it's 198, right? So this is the amount which is spent on TV. Okay, now let's do this. If I okay, one quick thing, that whenever you are putting this C2 to C12, this should correspond to your B2 to B12. You see, because what happens is how the formula works in behind this. So whenever it gets a row or a cell in the range TV, okay, so I started my data set from here, right? I started from B2, so it went to first cell, it was air conditioner. Okay, no, not matching to TV. Okay, it went to second cell. Okay, it's not matching. It went to third cell. Okay, now TV is matching. So what it is because the third cell from the range matched, so from the sum range also it will take the third cell. Now for some reason what you did is you started your journey here from the, not from the second cell, maybe you started it from the third cell. So you see, you get a completely different number. Why? Because now it started from, if you see, it started from one next. So basically here it got the third condition as TV, right? So what it's doing is here it is taking TV here, this 38. Okay. Then again this 35. Okay. Again 1, 2, 3, 28. Okay. And then again it's taking this 38. Okay, because TV it got here in the end. So we are getting 443, which is the same as here, if you see now. So always remember that you should, match your ranges exactly like what you are searching for as per the range. Okay. Okay. Clear? Moving ahead. Now we will see how to get a non-branded spin. Now, if you see my data, not for everyone, not for every equipment we have a brand, right? For the last two, we don't have a brand. Now, if we have a very big data where for few we have brands and for few we don't, how do we know for which one to, calculate price for? Which one doesn't have a brand? So we do have a formula for that as well. Is equal to, again, SUMIF. Now range. Range is again now because we have to deal with brands. So I select the brands. Okay. Comma. Okay. Now the criteria. Now, how do I, so whenever I have a value to equate, so I can write the value, but right now I don't have a value to equate. So what do I do? Here, I just write not is equal to. Okay, so not is equal to any of the values, comma, and the sum range. Okay, so when I said not is equal to, it took as 327000. Okay, so now what I'll do is, wait. So when I say 327000, it took all the branded spend, if you see, which means not is equal to null. Okay, just hold on. Okay, so it means not is equal to null. Okay, now when I want to see which are the nulls, okay, nulls means which are the blanks. So not is equal to blank means it, not is equal to means this, it's taking for all the cells which has a brand in it. Now when I want to see which are the blanks, I just do it like this and I get 50,000. Okay, so the previous one which I did is for the non-blanks. We will see in the next example. Okay, so for the next example, if you see whatever I did just now, okay, not is equal to. Okay, moving ahead. Now till now we saw when we equate a value, when we want to get for all the not null values, sum of not null values, and then we want to see it for the null values. Okay, now everything was for one value. Now if I want to have two values? Okay, now how do I do that? So maybe I want the sum of TVs and fridge. Okay, so sum if, okay, what happened? Okay, first the range, now the criteria. Now for criteria, what we do is to give two values, I'll use a curly bracket. TV, fridge. Spelling should be exact. Comma, and then the sum range. Okay, as soon as I press enter, you see we have two cells coming, even though I didn't do anything here. Now, what are these two cells? This is TV and this is fridge. Okay, so this is TV and this is fridge. How do I sum this two up? Okay, now how do I sum this two up? So before splitting, what I can do is I can actually sum this two. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put a sum outside, right? If I put a sum outside, what this will do is it will prevent it from splitting. Okay, so what we did is we just got the sum from the splitting. So this is how we can do sum if with multiple conditions as well. Okay, now moving ahead. So just now what we saw is sum if. Okay, now we will see what is sum ifs. Now with the name only we do understand that for sum if it was with one condition, with one if condition, and when I say sum ifs it is for multiple conditions, sum ifs. Okay, so SUMIF is an enhanced version of the SUMIF formula in Excel that enables you to sum any range of data by matching several criteria, right? That was one criteria for SUMIF. SUMIFs have several criteria. For example, if you have sales values based on city-wise across multiple months, then using the SUMIF function, we can get the total sales value for the particular city for a particular month. In this case, city and month are the criteria to have to arrive at the sales value. So now you see we have two criteria, city and month both. Previously we were only doing with one. See, in the last example also which I showed you is, it was only for one column we had multiple values. Okay, that's what we did. But here we can work with multiple columns. Okay. The syntax of SUMIFs include sum range, criteria range 1, criteria 1, criteria range 2, and criteria 2, and so on. So you can have multiple criteria, right? So first what you need to do is you need to give a sum range. So the SUMIFs formula here, it says first I need to give a sum range, the cells or the range of cells that you want to sum. For example, A1 to A20, and this is a mandatory range. Okay, mandatory attribute. Okay, next what we have, we can put as many criteria range 1 and criteria 1 combinations. Okay, now criteria range 1 is the column which includes the first criteria values. Okay, so basically this is the column we have to select the range, and then we have to give what criteria to select in this criteria range. Same goes with the second. So first we need to select the range where we will find the values, and then in criteria 2 we put what value to find. Okay, no, so in the SUMIF function in Excel, we can enter up to 127 criteria range and criteria pairs. So like this, it is range 1 and criteria 1, right? So like this, we can put 127 values. Okay. So you see this example of SUMIFs. We are doing an addition for cost. Okay. So we are doing an addition for the cost. Now the where the range A2 to A9, okay, is greater than 2011. So basically only for the years which is 2011 above, not even 2011, it's 2011 above, and where B2 to B9 is apples. Okay, so if B2 to B9 is apples and A2 to A9 is 2011 above, we get the sum. So let's see this apples. Okay, it sums up 5.1, and this will not sum up because it is 2011 and we wanted above 2011, so that means we only have 5.1 which is coming up here, right? Let's see some live examples for SUMIFs. Okay, so now this is my data. Okay, now what I want is the total salary for marketing department. Now if I, what is total salary of marketing department? You see the ask is only for marketing department, that means only one column is involved. Okay, so what I do a sum if here. Okay, because only one column, right? So I do a sum if here. for marketing department, that means department is here. If you see the data first, what all do we have here? We have employee name, we have the department where the employee is working, then the region, which region the employee is working, when did the employee join, how many years of service did he do in the company, and what was the salary he drew. Okay. Now for marketing, so we need to select department, right? So I selected department range. Criteria should be marketing. Okay. Then the sum range. Okay. So this is the total of all the marketing department salary. Okay. Now, if I want department to be marketing and region to be maybe not. So now what I do is I do a sum ifs. Now here first I should put a sum range. In sum if, sum range was the last and optional. Here sum range is mandatory. So first I put what I want to sum up, which is the salary. Now the first criteria. My first criteria is department should be marketing. So I select department column and I put the value of marketing here. And the second criteria was region should be not. So I now select the region column and putting it as north. Okay, so we are done. We wanted only two criteria, so I close it. So I get this number. Let's check both the numbers. Okay, just control X and okay, so we get 3691850. And now if I just filter for the north, I get two values, which is 1503481, 1503481, right? So we could see how we did with multiple criteria range and criteria. I could do for both of them. Okay. So this was SUMIF. We will see one more example. So this is kind of an interesting example that we have here. Okay. So we have our departments and we have our regions. Okay. So what do I do here is, okay. So now let's start with this. Okay. I want for each department and for the region, I want the total salary. Okay. For, okay, let me first do that and show it to you. Okay. So is equal to SUMIF. And also I am going to write such a formula which which I just need to drag and everything will fall in place. Okay, so I need to go and change the formula for each and every cell. Let's see how do we do this. Sum ifs. First the sum range. So definitely we want a range for the salary, right? So I very nicely I just select the salary. Okay, next criteria range 1. Now I have two criteria that the department should be this whatever is in the left, and the region should be on which column we are working in. So first is the department. Let's select department. Okay, and it should be web, comma. Next is the region. Now region, comma, region should be this, right? That's all right. That's all I want. And web, and is this. Let me just check it out. 1337364. So how many do we have? Each 21, which is 1337364. Fine, which is correct. That means, right? Now I can drag it. Okay, because if you remember, if I drag it, okay, it will change its data set. Okay, so now you see it's from department and region, it went to region and joining date. And also, okay, the column is are going perfectly because we are moving on the right hand side, but the department came here, and now if I pull this down instead of going up, if I pull this down, so what will happen then is, you see, uh, uh, okay, now you see this column came one step down because I pulled it down. So like I said, in VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, we should always freeze what we want to freeze, okay, what is needed to be frozen. So what do I do for that? Okay, let's check. First is this F2. This is the value. This is F2 to F21 is the salary range. Now see, salary range is not going to change, right? It is going to be salary range for forever. Okay. So salary range is something which I can freeze. Okay. Now once I have frozen salary range, next we see we have B2 to B21. Okay. Now what is B2 to B21? It is my department. Again, this department range also is not gonna change. Okay, we can freeze it easily. Okay, also this range, see all the ranges where you are searching, right, that is never gonna change unless you until you have a specific criteria. So I can easily freeze all of them. Now remaining is H2 and I1. H2 is nothing but your departments, I1 is nothing but your regions, I1 J1. Now we see in H2, if I drag it on the right hand side, I don't want my H to change to I, right? Because it isn't, all the departments are in H column. But when I drag it down, I want this 2 to change to 3, 4, right? This is second row, this is third, this is fourth, right? So I want my 2 to change, but I don't want my department to my column to change. So because I don't want my column to change, I'll just freeze my column. So I just will have dollar in front of H. Okay, now let's see what do we do for I. What treatment do we give it? Now I is nothing but the regions, right? So whenever I drag it on the right hand side, I want my columns to change now, right? Because west is in J, north is in K, but it is in the first row. The row can't change for my regions, right? Row can't come down. So what I'll do is I'll just freeze my row here. So you see, I just have a dollar in front of my row number. Now I press enter. Let's drag now. Okay, and now let's drag down. Let's check. Let's take sales and north maybe. 2253968. Okay. 2253968, right? This is sum of this and this. So that means our answer is correct, right? And now what if we want to add one more criteria? Okay, I want only where the years of service are greater than 5. Okay, so what I just do is, after doing everything whatever I showed you earlier, we have one more criteria here with the years of service for this, and I write greater than 5 inside the quotes. Okay, I write greater than 5 inside the quotes. So like this, I can have all my data, all my formulas filled with no change at all in anything. So this improves your performance so that you don't have to go and write formula for each of the cell. You can just write once. You need to just apply a logic. Okay, think about it. So see, if you think, if you give some time in thinking, right, you will save lots of your time working. Okay, right? So you need to be a smart worker, not a hard worker, yes, but you need to be a smart worker as well, right? So this was about some ifs. We're moving ahead.